Hello students, in the last class we have discussed about characteristic features of the amphibians and the interesting characteristic features of the frog. Okay, and in this class I am going to continue with the another class of tetrapods is class Reptilia. Class Reptilia. Reptilia, it is a Latin word which means to creep. To creep. Okay, the organisms which can having the creeping or crawling mode of locomotion, and those organisms are classified under what? Reptilia. Okay, the organisms which can able to crawl or climb on the surfaces and creep on the surfaces, and those organisms are classified under reptilians, and those organisms are called as reptilians. Okay, and again when coming to the habitat of this reptilians, they are terrestrial in nature. Almost are their terrestrial habitat, and the body of the reptilians is covered by the dry skin, dry cornified skin. This body is covered by dry cornified skin. Dry cornified skin. And there is a presence of epidermal scales. Epidermal scales are spoots on the skin. And here another characteristic feature, they do not possess the external ear. External ear is absent, and instead of external ear, the tympanum is present. Tympanum is present. Tympanum is present. And here, when coming to the characteristic features of the reptilians, the heart of the reptilians is made up of 3 chambers. Okay, the heart is made up of 3-chambered heart. 3-chambered heart, 2 auricle, 1 ventricle. But except crocodile, it is going to consist of 4-chambered heart. Okay, don't confuse with each other. Reptiles consist of 3-chambered heart, but the except crocodile, it consists of 4-chambered heart. 4-chambered heart. Again, these reptilians are also cold-blooded organisms. Cold-blooded organisms. They cannot able to withstand high temperature also, low temperature also, and they cannot maintain the internal constant internal body temperature. So that's why the reptilians are cold-blooded organisms. Reptilians are what? Cold-blooded organisms. And another very important thing in the reptilians, few organisms they can show the skin casting. Few organisms they can show the skin casting. What is skin casting? What is skin casting? The snakes and lizards, they shed their skin. They shed their shirts, their scales at regular intervals of time. cloaca. Here also in the reptilians, the cloaca is present. There is no presence of anus, and the respiratory organs are the lungs. The respiration, it is going to take place in the lungs, and the cutaneous respiration is completely absent. Okay, the respiration is going to take place by the lungs. In the reptilians, there is no cutaneous respiration, it is going to take place. The complete skin, without skin, there is no respiration. With the help of skin, there is no respiration, it is going to take place. And another thing, the males which provided with the capillary organs, the males which can possess the capillary organs, which helps to fertilizing with the, which helps to release the male gamete into the female reproductive tract, and the fertilization is internal. Fertilization is internal fertilization. And most of the reptilians, they are oviparous in nature. Most of the organisms of the reptilians, they are oviparous in nature. They can raise the eggs. And the eggs are heavily yolked and they are covered by the shells, hence they are called as cleidoic eggs. Okay, they can release, they can able to release the eggs, or they can raise the eggs. They are called as oviparous in nature, and the eggs are heavily yolked, and the yolk is present in more amount, and those eggs, they are covered by the shells. They are covered by the shell. So this is the shell, and so that's why the eggs of the reptilians, they are called as cleidoic eggs. Okay, it is also one of the important characteristic features of the reptilians. And after that, here see, these are the oviparous organisms. They can raise the eggs, and the eggs are covered by the shells. And the fertilization is always internal, and the development is always direct. There is no larval stage. And the development is direct. It does not include any larval stage. These are all the characteristic features of the reptilians. Reptilians means the organisms which can able to crawl or creep on the surfaces. They are called as reptilians, and their body, they can choose the terrestrial habitat, and the body is dry in nature, and the skin which is provided with the scales and the spores, and those scales which can short at the regular intervals of time. Is called as skin casting. They are poikilotherms. They cannot maintain the constant internal body temperature, and the limbs are in here in the reptilians, there are two pairs of limbs are present. One pair is hind limbs, and another pair is forelimbs. But the very good example for limbless reptilian is snake. Okay, snake is the only reptilia which do not possess the limbs. Okay, so that's why it is a very good example for limbless reptilia. And sexes are always separate, and the fertilization is internal, and they are oviparous organisms, and the eggs are covered by the shell. So that's why they are called as calcareous shells. Okay, the examples for reptilians: crocodiles, lizard, snakes. These are all the example for reptilians. Okay, and after the completion of reptilians, the next tetrapod is aves. The next type is aves. Aves. It is also a Latin word which aves. It is also a Latin word which comes from the word aves, which means birds. The organisms which can able to fly. The organisms which can ability to fly, and those organisms which are classified under the aves, which are excuse me, which are classified under the aves. Okay, and what are the characteristic features of this aves? What are the characteristic features of the aves? The aves, almost all the aves are the birds are warm-blooded organisms. Almost all the aves are warm-blooded organisms, and they can able to maintain the constant body temperature. They can able to maintain the constant body temperature. So that's why they are homeotherms. That's why they are homeotherms, are warm-blooded organisms. Warm-blooded organisms. Okay, and when coming to habitat, they are almost all arboreal in nature, and here also the birds, they can having the presence of 2 pairs of limbs, 4 limbs, hind limbs, and the 4 limbs are modified into a feathery like structures, so that's why they are called as wings. They are modified into feathers. The 4 limbs are modified into feathers, and those feathers which helps in the flying purpose. Okay, and another thing is sea rings. Sea rings is the voice box of the birds which helps in the able to produce the nice sound. Okay, which able to produce the nice sound. And the 4 limbs are modified into wings, and they are provided with the feathers for the purpose of flight, and the presence of feathers is most of them fly except flightless bird. Okay, there is a presence of feathers means they are to able to fly, right? And almost all the birds they can able to fly, but few birds they cannot able to fly. Okay, and which are the given example for flightless bird? Flightless bird, ostrich. Ostrich, it is a bird which cannot able to fly. Flightless bird. Flightless bird. And when coming to the body structure, the body is divisible into head region, trunk region, and tail region. And in the head region, they possess the beak. The mouth is modified into beak. The mouth is modified into beak, and there is no, the jaws are completely absent, and the mouth is provided with the mouth is provided by the horny beak. Toothless horny beak. There is no presence of any jaws or teeth inside the mouth. Instead of that, it is provided with the horny beak. Okay, because the birds are, some are frugivorous in nature, they can eat only fruits, and some are insectivorous, they can eat the insects, and some are carnivorous also, they can eat the animals also. So that's why the mouth is provided with the toothless horny beak. And the hind limbs are having the scales and modified for walking. The 4 limbs are modified into wings, right? And in the hind limbs, which are made up of with the presence of scales on their body, legs, and those 4 limbs which helps in the walking purpose, and which helps to holding the tree twigs, which helps to holding the tree twigs, which helps in the supporting process, and when there sits on the trees. And after that, the skin is dry in nature. The skin is always dry in nature except at the tail region. Except at the tail region. And here in the tail region there is no presence of sebaceous gland. There is the presence of sebaceous gland. So that's why the oil glands which are present at the tail region, and there is no presence of dry in nature. The complete body is dry in nature except at the tail region. Why? Because in the tail region the oil glands are present. And then coming to the excretion. And coming to the excretion of the birds, the excretion, it is going to takes place by the presence of kidneys. By the presence of metanephric kidneys. By the presence of what? Metanephric kidneys. And the heart is four-chambered. The heart is four-chambered, two auricles and two ventricles. Two auricles and two ventricles. And the endoskeleton of the birds is fully ossified and long bones, and the endoskeleton is made up of a special type of bones. They are called as pneumatic bones. They are called as pneumatic bones. What are pneumatic bones? What are pneumatic bones? Pneumatic bones, those are the bones which are filled with the air cavities. Okay, those are the bones which are filled with the air cavities, and these pneumatic bones which helps in the flight, which helps in the flying purpose. Because of the light weightness in the bones, and due to the presence of air cavities, and the bones are very light in weight, so that's why they are, which helps in the flying purpose. The very important thing about the case is pneumatic bones, right? The very important thing, the important characteristic feature of the birds is, one is feathers, another one is pneumatic bones, another one is series. Okay, pneumatic bones, those are the bones which are filled with the air cavities. They are filled with the air cavities, and those are called as pneumatic bones, and the voice parts of the bird is serines. Okay, and there is no presence of serines in any different types of organisms like in amphibia and in reptilians. Okay, aves having the presence of serines. And when coming to the respiration takes place by the presence of air sacs and lungs. Okay, here also the permanent respiration is going to take place. And after that, the sexes are always separate. And the fertilization is always internal fertilization. And the very important thing here is they are also oviparous organisms. Okay, they can lay the eggs. The organisms which can lay the eggs, and those eggs they can incubate it. After the incubation, the new individual which can hatching from the eggs. Okay. The another very important thing here is aves. It does not include any larval stage, so that's why the development is always delayed. And when coming to excretion, these organisms they can always their excretion takes place by the presence of a metanephric kidneys. Okay, these are all the characteristic features of the birds. Okay, are aves. Aves are those are the organisms they can able to fly on the fly above the ground, and those are categorized under aves family. They are commonly called as birds. and syrinx is the voice box, and this syrinx which is present in between the bronchial region, and they are homeotherms, warm blooded organisms. They can able to maintain the internal body temperature remains constant. Okay, and so that's why they cannot undergo any hibernation and estivation process. And the four limbs are modified into wings. They are provided with the feathers, which helps in the production process also, and which helps in the flying purpose also. And the presence of feathers is most interesting characteristic features of the birds. And the bones of the birds, they are lighter in weight than those of mammalians. Some of the bones, they are hollow and actually acts as a part of avian respiratory system also. In sometimes the bones of the birds, they are very light in weight. Sometimes they can help in the respiration process also. And those ears, they can possess the mouth, and mouth which is modified into horny beak-like structure. Okay, there is no presence of any type of jaws in that. And the hind limbs, which are modified into which are made up of by the presence of scales, which helps to balance and which helps the walking purpose also. And the skin is always dry in nature, and there is no presence of any glands in that except in the tail region. In the tail region, the skin which possesses the oil glands, and the excretion by metanephric kidneys, and the respiration by the lungs, and the pneumatic bones are present, which helps in the flying purpose, and the fertilization is internal. They are oviparous, and the sexes are separate. There is a direct development in the aves. The example for aves, pigeon, peacock, crow. These are all the example for aves. Okay, this is also very important question for prima question. Write any 4 important characteristic features of the aves, given example. Okay, that's all about tetrapods. We already done with the class aves, class mammals, and class reptilia, and these are the 3 classes of tetrapods. Remaining only one is there, and in the next video I am going to talk about the last class of tetrapods is mammalia, and in that video we can discuss about what are the characteristic features of the mammals, and which are all the examples they are included under the mammalians. Okay, thank you.